All right, let's jump into another deep dive. Today, we're going to be heading south of the border.
Ooh, sounds fun.
To explore the Palenque ruins in Chiapas, Mexico.
Okay.
Our source material today is a YouTube video by travel vlogger Martin Solhaugen.
Right.
And he visited Palenque with his fiancée.
Oh, cool.
And it seems like, just from watching the footage, it seems like he had an amazing time.
Right.
But the title of his video is actually Why the Palenque Ruins Are Not Worth the Trip.
Oh, interesting.
So that's kind of the puzzle we're going to be trying to figure out today.
Yeah, what's going on there? I'm ready to dive in.
Me too. So he starts his video and he's just raving about how lush and green the jungle setting is. And he loves that it's way less crowded than other Mayan ruin sites.
Okay.
Like Chichen Itza, for example.
Yeah, makes sense.
He says, it almost feels like you have the whole place to yourself.
Wow.
Which I have to admit sounds pretty appealing to me.
Yeah, that sense of tranquility and immersion in nature is a big part of Palenque's appeal.
Right.
Unlike other Mayan cities that were built on open plains, Palenque is nestled right in the heart of a rainforest.
Yeah.
So the jungle isn't just a backdrop.
Right.
It's an integral part of the site itself.
I could just imagine, wandering through these ancient pathways with, howler monkeys calling in the distance.
It's quite a symphony. Yeah. He even calls it the Jungle Orchestra.
I love that.
Yeah, and his video really captures that atmosphere.
So you've got the stunning rainforest, the promise of peace and quiet. So far, so good.
So far, so good.
But then he runs into that ticketing issue.
Oh, yeah, he did mention that. Yeah, early on in the video. He said you need separate tickets for the national park and then another one for the ruins themselves.
Really?
And then on top of that, he said he felt bombarded by people trying to sell him tours.
Ugh, that is the worst.
Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming. You can't even enjoy the moment because you're constantly being, pitched something.
Yeah, I think a little pre-trip research could really help in these situations.
Yeah, good point.
Knowing the ticket prices beforehand and just, politely declining any unwanted offers.
Right.
Could really save you some hassle.
That is some solid advice.
I try.
Okay, so we've got the jungle vibes, we've got the ticketing snafu. Now let's get to the good stuff.
Okay.
The ruins themselves.
Yes.
So Solhagen, he seemed really captivated by the Temple of the Inscriptions.
Right.
And especially its connection to Mayan history.
Okay.
And he even kind of suggests that Palenque may have been, a major political and economic hub.
Interesting.
Much like Uxmal.
Oh, okay.
Which for our listeners, Uxmal is another significant Mayan city. It's located on the Yucatan Peninsula.
Right.
And it's known for its ornate, what's called Puc-style architecture.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually.
It highlights that these sites weren't just isolated temples.
Right.
They were vibrant cities with complex social hierarchies.
Oh, wow.
And, they had interconnected relationships. And Palenque in particular is believed to have been a major power player in the Mayan world.
Wow.
Exerting influence over a wide region.
So we're not just talking about impressive architecture.
Right.
We're talking about a seat of power.
Exactly.
I'm curious, what kind of evidence is there to support this theory of Palenque's political dominance?
Well, for one, the city's location was strategically advantageous.
Okay.
It sits in a fertile valley, which gave it access to valuable resources and trade routes.
Oh, I see.
Also, the sheer scale and grandeur of Palenque's architecture suggests a high level of wealth and sophistication. The Temple of the Inscriptions, for example, is one of the largest and most elaborate funerary monuments in the entire Mayan world.
That's incredible. Okay, so Palenque is not just some forgotten temple in the jungle.
No.
It's a window into this complex civilization that thrived for centuries.
Exactly. And what's so fascinating about Palenque is that it offers us a glimpse into a specific chapter of Mayan history centered around the reign of one of their most famous rulers, King Pakal the Great.
Okay, so we're talking royalty now.
Yes.
This is getting good.
It is.
This Pakal guy, I'm guessing he must have been a pretty big deal.
He was a big deal.
What's the story there?
Well, Pakal ruled Palenque for an incredible 68 years.
68 years.
What? Overseeing a period of great expansion and prosperity.
Wow.
His tomb, which is actually located within the Temple of the Inscriptions, is one of the most spectacular archaeological discoveries of the 20th century.
Wait, so his tomb is inside that massive temple?
Yes.
Talk about going out in style.
Right. It's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
The tomb itself is adorned with these intricate carvings and hieroglyphs that tell the story of Pakal's life and reign.
Oh, cool.
And it offers us incredible insights into Mayan beliefs about death and the afterlife.
Okay, I am officially adding this to my travel bucket list.
That's amazing.
To walk through these ancient structures, knowing they were built by the same civilization that created like such elaborate art and architecture.
Yeah.
It gives me chills.
It's a powerful feeling.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that sets Palenque apart from other sites. It's not just about the scale or the grandeur of the architecture. It's that intimate connection you feel to the people who created it.
Yeah, that's what I love about these deep dives. It's like uncovering these hidden layers of meaning and history that you might not even realize are there.
Absolutely.
When you first visit a place.
And it sounds like Solhagen, despite his video title, is starting to feel that connection too. He's clearly captivated by the Temple of Inscriptions and the stories it holds. But his journey through Palenque is just beginning, and there's a lot more to uncover.
All right, well, let's keep going then.
Okay.
So we've established that Palenque is more than just some pretty ruins.
Right.
It's a place steeped in history and power.
Definitely.
And artistry. What else does Solhagen discover
as
he kind of ventures deeper into the site?
Well, he doesn't just focus on those like big iconic structures like the Temple of Inscriptions. He takes the time to appreciate the smaller details too, like the way the jungle has kind of reclaimed some of the ruins and created these incredible scenes of nature and architecture.
I remember that one shot from his video.
Which one?
Where the temple is almost completely like enveloped by vines and trees.
Yeah.
It looked like something straight out of like an adventure movie.
It's a powerful reminder that these sites weren't just like unearthed in pristine condition. They were hidden beneath centuries of jungle growth, patiently waiting to be rediscovered. And it's thanks to archaeologists and historians that we're even able to see them today.
Yeah, it makes you realize how much effort goes into preserving these treasures for future generations.
Absolutely.
Speaking of appreciation, Solhagen seemed particularly drawn to this temple called the Temple of the Sun.
Oh, right.
And he even mentions a personal connection. His last name, Solhagen, means Sun Hill.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I know, right?
Yeah, those personal touches always add another layer to the experience.
Totally.
And it's fitting that he would feel connected to the Temple of the Sun because it really illustrates the Mayans' deep understanding of astronomy and their belief in the interconnectedness of the earthly and celestial realms.
Wait, are you saying they actually designed these temples to like align with celestial events?
Absolutely. The Mayans were incredibly skilled astronomers.
Wow.
They tracked the movements of the sun and the moon and the stars.
That's amazing.
And they incorporated these observations into their architecture and city planning.
Wow.
The Temple of the Sun, for example, is positioned so that on specific days of the year, the sun's rays illuminate certain parts of the structure.
That's incredible.
Yeah, creating a symbolic connection between the king, the gods, and the cosmos.
It's not just about beautiful buildings. It's about a whole worldview. Encoded in like stone and light.
It's amazing.
It makes you wonder, like, what other secret these ruins hold?
That's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
And that sense of wonder is what seems to keep Solhagen going, too. Even after visiting multiple Mayan sites on his trip.
Right.
He's clearly struck by the unique personality of each location. And how they each offer a different glimpse into this vast and complex civilization.
It's like piecing together this giant puzzle. Big site contributes, so you've got a new piece of the story.
And while Solhagen acknowledges the similarities between sites like Palenque and Uxmal, he also notes the differences, particularly in the overall atmosphere and visitor experience. He mentions that, like, while there are vendors at Palenque, they're not as persistent as at some of the more crowded sites. So it allows for a more peaceful and contemplative experience.
I'm starting to understand why he enjoys Palenque so much. It seems to offer like that perfect balance of accessibility and authenticity. You can immerse yourself in the history and the natural beauty without feeling overwhelmed by like crowds or commercialization.
Precisely. And that seems to be a recurring theme in Solhagen's journey, the search for that authentic connection with the past.
Yeah.
He wants to experience these places on his own terms.
Right.
To feel the weight of history without distractions.
Which brings us back to that perplexing video title.
Oh, yeah.
Why the Palenque ruins are not worth the trip.
Right.
How can he say that when he's clearly having such a positive experience?
It is a head-scratcher.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just trying to manage expectations to prepare viewers for an experience that might be different from what they're anticipating.
You think?
I don't know. It's possible.
Like maybe he's saying, hey, this place is amazing.
Right.
But don't expect a theme park.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Okay.
Or maybe, like we discussed earlier, the title's just a clever way to pique viewers' curiosity. Right? To get them to click on the video.
Yes.
The classic clickbait conundrum.
The clickbait.
But even if the title's a bit misleading, it does raise an interesting question.
Okay.
What makes a travel destination worth it in the first place?
That's a great question.
Right. Is it about ticking off famous landmarks? Or capturing the perfect Instagram photo? Yeah. Or is it about something deeper?
Right. Yeah. What truly resonates with us when we travel?
Exactly.
Is it the grandeur of the sights we see? Or is it that feeling we get when we like connect with a place on a personal level?
Yeah. When we allow ourselves to be surprised and challenged by new experiences.
I think it's a combination of both. But those unexpected moments of connection.
Yeah.
The ones that stay with you long after you've returned home. Those are the real treasures.
Absolutely. And those are the kinds of moments Solhagen seems to be seeking out in his exploration of Palenque.
Yeah.
He's not just checking boxes on a list.
Right.
He's allowing himself to be moved by the beauty, the history, the mystery of this ancient city.
I'm eager to hear how his journey wraps up.
Okay.
Is there anything else in his video that might shed light on this seemingly contradictory title?
There's this one small detail he mentions that might offer a clue. He and his fiancée chose not to stay overnight near the ruins.
Oh, okay.
They opted to just make it a day trip from the city of Palenque.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that could have influenced his overall impression of the site?
It's possible.
Okay.
Maybe he felt rushed.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have enough time to fully absorb the atmosphere and explore every nook and cranny.
Like maybe he wished he had more time to wander the jungle paths or listen to the jungle orchestra at dusk.
Right. Or just sit in the presence of those ancient temples and let the weight of history sink in.
Exactly.
Yeah, sometimes a day trip, while convenient, can leave you feeling like you've only scratched the surface.
Yeah, that's true.
Perhaps that's why, despite his obvious enjoyment of Palenque, Solhagen ultimately concluded that it wasn't, quote, worth the trip, in the sense that it deserved more than just a fleeting visit.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's a reminder that sometimes to truly appreciate a place, you need to slow down, immerse yourself in its rhythms, and just allow yourself to be fully present in the moment.
Absolutely.
I think that's such an important reminder.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get so caught up in checking things off our travel bucket list that we forget to actually savor the experience. It sounds like Solhagen might have been wrestling with that very tension.
It's a struggle a lot of us can relate to, especially in this age of fast-paced travel and constant documentation.
Yeah, for sure.
But Solhagen's journey, I think, reminds us that the true value of exploration lies not just in the places we visit, but in how those places change us, how they broaden our perspectives and deepen our understanding of the world.
Beautifully put.
Thank you.
So even if he didn't give Palenque a glowing endorsement in the traditional sense, it seems like the experience really had a profound impact on him.
It seems that way, yeah. And who knows? Maybe those lingering questions